Hello, hello, hello. Yo, what's going on, everybody? And welcome back to the show. If you're new here, my name is Mitchell. In today's episode, I'll be talking about how to spot a cheater. How to spot a cheater. So I do these YouTube lives every Saturdays at 12 p.m. Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern time. And if you guys do find this video content of value, you guys could show your appreciation by donating any amount that you feel is equal to the value of this video. And if you want to support me in, just hit the like button, subscribe, and yeah, all that fun stuff. Anyways, let's get right into the recap episode that I'll be talking about today. About let's see, how to be a high value man. And the slide is on how to spot a high value man. So you want to ask yourself first, what am I looking for before you start going out there looking for a high value person? And because now one of the main reasons why is like without a clear intention of what you want or an understanding of what you're looking for, you will easily be picking out things that you're like, oh, okay, immediately attracted to. And so for most people, especially if you're watching this and you're female and you're watching this and you're looking for someone in your life, this is where the world tends to overvalue chemistry and undervalue a person's character. Now, I do want to say that having chemistry with somebody is important because that's what kind of gives you that type of high feeling. But most importantly, what makes a relationship work is depending on that person's character and do you guys align with the same goals and values. Now, while chemistry is important to have a passionate relationship, what also makes a relationship work are times where you are able to handle unpleasant times. Things when things get a little bit tough, how do you guys handle it? Right? How does this person solve their problems, and how do they react when things don't go the way that they want it to be? Do they even try to solve the problems with you? So that's very important because before you get into a relationship with somebody, these are certain things that you want to start vetting. Are they what's their communication level? Do they communicate? Do they kind of stonewall you? Like all those things are very important. So, and then you want to ask yourself, well, does he have hobbies or does she have hobbies? And does he lose himself in or herself in focusing on their hobbies itself? And can they find a healthy balance while still maintaining a healthy relationship with everybody, right? With yourself and your significant other as well. Now, meaning that he or she will be understanding or understands that you have needs as well, but you also understand that, you need time for yourself to grow, to become more than you are, right? Because the number one most important thing before getting into a relationship, and this is not even about the whole cheating part, but before you get into that relationship, you want to be comfortable with yourself. That way, you don't have to put as much pressure onto the relationship when things aren't exactly being met into your standards. What's up? Corned beef? What's going on? And so anyways, is this person constantly seeking to improve themselves while it's mentally, physically, and spiritually? Is this person confident in the things that they do? People that know their worth does not need to convince others that they are valuable. Their value is demonstrated by their presence and their actions. Now, while having all these high value things wouldn't stop anybody from cheating because their character on who they are, character's destiny. What you want to understand is, what's up, Caleb? What you want to understand is it's not, you're not going to stop somebody from cheating, right? Especially once their interest level becomes a little bit lower. It's like, well, and their needs aren't met. You're not going to stop them. If that's who they are, that's who they are. And so in today's episode, I'm going to be focusing on how to spot a cheater and what are some signs that cheaters would do before they actually cheat on you. Okay? Now, so before we get into cheating, we have to understand why people lie and why do they cheat, right? We have to understand the why first. So in order to detect when people are lying, we first have to look at why people want to lie. And before I continue this, I want to give a shout out to Healthy Gamer GG. He gave a lot of great advice, so this is credited towards him. I don't want to take any credit from this, but very, very valuable information over here by Healthy Gamer GG. All right, so now you want to first focus on when people lie. You have to focus on why people lie. And for most people, why lying is about controlling. A lot of people want to think that lying is about protecting yourself. But it's not really so much about protecting yourself. It's about controlling the other person's behavior, right? So anytime someone is lying, they're trying to control the behavior of another person. And you could argue that, hey, you know what? Maybe, they're really trying to protect themselves. And it's like, well, protecting yourself is like knowing that you did nothing wrong, and yet they still want to attack you. That's how I see protecting yourself is. SPG, you said, hello, my girlfriend broke off the relationship with me. We dated for almost a year, loved her, moved to her place in the city. It's very bad right now. I can't find a place myself. Give me advice. SPG, are you still in here? If you're still in here, for sure, I can answer that. But if not, let me know. All right, I need a response from you first. Now, so anytime someone's lying, they're trying to control another person's behavior. So say you went to a supermarket or whatever, a Target or something, right? And you stole something, and security asks you, did you pay for these items? And then you say, yes, I did. I paid for these items. And then they ask you, well, let me see your receipt then. And then you say something like, well, I didn't get it and I threw it away. Okay, SPG, I'll get right into it after I finish this, all right? So just hang tight. So if you think about why people lie, it's so that you could change the reaction or the behavior of another person. And in this case, you don't want to be arrested or pay a hefty fine. Quick pause. I want to take a look at SPG's relationship status. So let's see. Hello, my girlfriend. How old are you guys? You guys been dating for about a year, and then you moved. Was it a long distance relationship prior? Because you said you moved to her place in the city. And then now you can't find a place for yourself right now. So give me a little bit more details about your relationship, all right? Let's see. So the higher the let's see. Okay, so change the reaction of another person. In this case, you don't want to be arrested or pay a hefty fine. The higher the consequence, the more likely they will lie. So the lower the consequence, the less likely they will lie. So the question is, how do we get someone who is more likely to lie to tell you the truth? How do you do that? And that's by creating a sense of safety for them. So for example, cheating in a relationship, right? Because that's what this topic is about. And usually when you catch someone in lying, more than likely they're gonna want to lie about it, right? Or at least hide it until they get caught, then they try to lie. So an example is, I've noticed that you've been texting this guy a little bit more, and then there's been some text that's been a little bit questionable. I know you're saying you're not doing anything, and he's just a friend. He's just a friend, but I find it hard to believe, and I'm losing trust, right? And this is what you're saying to her. I'm not as concerned about you cheating. What I really, really want from you is honesty. And so that in this way, you're creating this sense of safety for this person so that they could be honest with you and open, right? And you can say things like, well, I value our relationship, but I can't promise I will still be in this relationship after what you have done. I just want to know. I just don't want to be lied to. And so you're trying to create this sense of safety for this person so that they are more inclined on giving you an honest truth. So what you don't want to say is, screw you, F you, if you're doing this, I'm leaving you. Because the moment you say that, there is zero sense of safety for this person. And with that being said, they're more inclined to want to lie, because what you're doing is now you're incentivizing this other person to lie more, to not tell you the truth, because in order to have a relationship, there needs to be trust, and trust is built on honesty and consistency. So now the next slide will be on most people can hide themselves. All right, in the SPG, if you're still here, I need a little bit more details from you. All right. Okay, so I'm 22, she's 18. I don't so much want to understand what was wrong. She told me She told me that she just doesn't want to work in a relationship. I just want to accept it and move on. So both of y'all still pretty young. Chances are, I don't know you and I don't know her, but I'm getting to know you by understanding what you said, right? So you don't want to understand what's wrong. You just want to move on. Well, if moving on is the thing that you want to focus on, then absolutely. Moving on, talk to other people, talk to better people. Now, if you want to understand what was wrong, chances are, if she was into you and now she's not, she probably lost interest in you. It's probably because you were acting more like the chick in the relationship, and that's why she lost interest. And she's like, I don't want to work on this anymore. I want to leave. And you know, a girl will not tell you she's losing interest. She tells you because she doesn't want to hurt your feelings. Bottom line is, she doesn't want to hurt your feelings. She doesn't want to deal with all that. Oh, you know, she's just like, you know what? I'm not feeling it anymore. I don't want to work on it. I just want to leave. And so she's gonna leave. And that's exactly what she did. Okay. If you want to, you know, if you want my advice and understand what went wrong, that's another question. Okay. So now, let's talk about most people can hide themselves. All right. So most people can hide themselves for at least 90 days. Okay. So before getting into, yeah, she told me she's not feeling it anymore. Yeah. So chances are you were probably not doing anything. So you're not dating and courting her. You probably got, you got used to the relationship. You're like, I got her. She ain't gonna go nowhere. So you stop dating and courting her, and you stop listening to her. Those are the two biggest reasons why most breakups happen. And 70 to 75% of breakups are initiated by women, or divorces are initiated by women. Because men, we're fucking easy. We just want to chill. We want to have a good time, and we just don't want them to bother us and give us a hard time, right? And so chances are you didn't do any of those two things, or maybe you only did one of the two, and you got complacent. And yeah, or you started acting very needy, desperate. Like, there's so many things. Like I said, I don't know you. But if you do want to understand a little bit more and to become a more masculine guy, stay in this life, and then I'll give you some advice. All right. So most people can hide themselves, right? And hear me out in this one too. So most people can hide themselves. And most of them could hide themselves within the first 90 days. So about 3 months, right? What you're trying to pay attention to is, number one, like changes in their behavior. It goes to you too, SPG. Changes in their behavior and their communication, right? And usually people that's more inclined on cheating, they're dressing up more, or they're just going to the supermarket and they're like dressing up very well. It's like, why are you looking so good just to go to a supermarket? You know, things like that. So are they going out more? Are they dolling themselves up, just like I said, to go to supermarket? Are they constantly working late, right? These are some of the things. What you're really looking for is inconsistencies, right? If she tells you a story, next time you go back to the story, are the details of that story kind of changing? Is she becoming a little bit more distant, right? And though here's a very, very big point. There's no clear indicator of whether or not someone's cheating on you or someone is a cheater. You can always judge based off their actions. Okay, you can always judge them based off their actions on the things that they do. And so the only way you can actually call them a cheater is if you either A, catch them in an act, or have solid evidence. All right, so one great way of vetting your dating prospects is before you get into a relationship of how to spot a cheater, right? You want to understand, like, well, did this person grow up in a healthy environment, right? And did he or she, in this case, I'm just going to use she. So did she have unresolved issues she have yet to try to overcome? Like, those are big important things. Is she seeing a therapist, or is she constantly trying to work on herself, on becoming better? Find out what is this person's values, and see if it aligns with what they say, because a lot of people would tell you that, oh, I want someone that's loyal. I'm loyal, right? It's like, well, anybody could tell you that they're a loyal person, but then what you want to see is the consistency. Are they constantly showing you or displaying through action that they're consistent and they're loyal with that consistency? So that's a very big one, right? Another big one is if she grew up and the parents were there. Because if she grew up and let's just say the dad wasn't there, right? If the dad wasn't there, chances are the mother have to make up for what is lacking. And so she doesn't even know how to act properly. And so that's why in today's world, in this modern day of dating, you get a lot of women that's very, she's a little bit bitchy. And it's because she don't know how to be in her feminine. And even if you were a perfect guy, let's just say you learn everything over here, you became this great guy, you're financially stable, you have a great job, right? You work on your body, you work on your mental, you're learning, you're becoming, you're growing, and it's just because you're great, it doesn't mean that person will be great themselves. And they will show you an image of who they are, but once things once their needs are not being met, it will start to crack, and she will start revealing herself a little bit more. So like I said, it's very important to understand whether or not she grew up in a happy, healthy family where the dad was the masculine guy and he's grounded and he doesn't lose his shit, right? And mom respects dad and his decision making and things like that. Like, those are huge factors. And because chances are, if she grew up in a dysfunctional family, there's a high chance that she's going to be a little bit messed up in the head, just a little bit. Now, and it's very important to understand too. You have to understand it's not your job to fix them. If they don't want to fix themselves, it's not your job. Your job is to align yourself with the right person. So, and in this case, even if she was not a cheater, highly doubt that, but let's just say she wasn't, right? She grew up in a messed up home. She's not a cheater because that's something that she like, nope, I will never cheat. Great. But yet she still comes from a dysfunctional family. She's not going to be fun to be around. Like, maybe when everything is at its all-time high, but how does this person deal with the lows? That's a much better indicator of whether or not the relationship will work out. It's how well can you handle your lows? So what I mean by lows is like, well, when things aren't going the way that you want it, how do you manage to talk things through? How do you communicate with this person? And how does this person communicate back with you? Are they argumentative? Are they yelling at you, right? Are they physical, right? Like, these are all things that you need to like lay out. Like, if you don't have this laid out, chances are you're just going in blindly and not knowing exactly what you want. And so you want to have a person that's like, look, this shit basically ain't gonna fly with me if you're gonna continue to do this. If you don't want to talk about a situation right now, that's totally fine. But stonewalling me, ignoring me, giving me this cold shoulder, that's emotional abuse. Because what you're showing me, and you're not exactly, I mean, you could say to her, right? But basically what you're saying, communicating to her, is what you're showing me now is, this is emotional abuse. You're telling me that I think you need to be punished, and I'm not going to talk to you. I'm not going to communicate with you. And once I feel like you had enough punishment, then I will talk to you. That is not healthy. All right, let's see. SPG. Okay, man, but I'll tell you what. I began to notice the cold. I asked her directly, is everything okay? She said yes. I ask for sure? She said yes. she's from a dysfunctional family. I don't know. I don't really. So, I look, and I'm saying this just because she came from a good home doesn't necessarily mean that she's a mess. She's not going to be messed up. Like this, we're working on probabilities, right? SPG probability. So the probability is because she came from a dysfunctional family, chances are she doesn't know how to control her emotions. And your job as a guy is to become the best version of yourself. And here's why. Look, understand that you want her back, or maybe you don't, or you just kind of want to go past it. So whatever you want to do right now, time is in your favor. It could be in your favor or it could go against you, right? And for you to say like, hey, I want everything right now, you're just being impatient. And that's not something that you want right now. You want to work on yourself at this point. Go out there, start. I mean, look, she doesn't want to talk to you, then so be it. There's other women out there that would love to have you. But, big but, all right? Big buts. You have to work on yourself. So, SPG, my advice to you is the best way for you to get anybody back, not just your ex. Assuming that you don't want her, fine. That's all. It doesn't matter. If you want her back, you should still do this. If you don't want her back, you should still do this. You want to change who you are because it's obvious that it's some of your behaviors that's causing her to back away from you. Because think about it like this in this perspective. If she was head over heels in love with you, she would not have left you. Women don't leave men they're in love with. They only leave men that they lost feelings for, that acted more like the woman in the relationship. So chances are, more than likely, it is what you have done. Now, I don't know anything about her. I don't know if she's, messed up in the head or not, right? Maybe she's fine. A lot of guys, they fall for beauty. A lot of guys fall for beauty way too easily. And so it's like, damn, she's fine. Like, I'll deal with her craziness. It's like, let me ask you this. Sometimes is the juice worth the squeeze? Is the juice really worth the squeeze, right? And so these are all things that you want to reconsider. Now, the best thing that you can do is to improve yourself, to become more masculine. And I wished, you're 22? I didn't learn this till I was in my late 20s, and I'm pushing late 30s. I can't accept that this is the end. I genuinely wanted to communicate with her so that she would get attached to me and not leave me. The truth is, she loved me, she wouldn't leave. The truth is, if she loved me, she wouldn't leave me. Genuinely wanted to communicate with her so that she would get attached. Now, that's already I'm gonna have to call you out on this, all right? But what you just said is, I genuinely wanted to communicate with her so that she would get attached to me and not leave me. That tells me that you're an insecure guy. Because a secure man, a confident man, would not need a woman to be attached to him so that she won't leave him. Because that's not what love is. I don't think you can really spot a cheater or prevent. It's difficult. It's difficult to spot somebody. English is not my main language, sorry. It's okay. I hope you at least kind of understand a little bit. Appreciate you, Jack. But yeah, it's like I said earlier, I don't know if you were here, but the only way to really catch somebody in cheating is to, catch them in the act. So you got to be present, or you have solid evidence. But there's also other ways of at least, what is this person like? What is their behavior? And I'm not saying just because it's not a checklist. It's like, oh, if they did this equals cheater. It's like, no. But then it's the type of behaviors that people do, that tendencies that they do, that they will have. And more than likely, you could assume that person is most likely a cheater. And so, behaviors to look out for, right? So, behaviors to look out for is, you're looking for someone that's going to be very defensive about who they're going out with or with their phones, right? I've been insecure my whole life, been to therapy. I feel more secure when I am doing better in life and get more attention and got more attention, but I feel insecure when I'm doing worse. I don't think it's up to me to let you continue with that, Jack. But yeah, anyways, you're looking for someone that's very defensive about who they're going out with or on the phone. Like, oh, what? Like, here's an example. Like, they would be like, what? I can't go outside. I need to have every conversation over here. Like, or they trying to gaslight you and be like, hey, you're so controlling. Are you insecure? You're looking for them to be very defensive, and they're trying to push it back on you. Basically gaslighting you, like you're the one with the problem, not me. I can't even go outside to have a phone call. You're looking for something like that. It's like, yeah, someone who's probably cheating will accuse you of cheating. That's another big one. It's a lot of it is projection. People that cheat a lot are the ones that are more likely to accuse you of cheating, even when you're not doing anything wrong. Even when you're not doing anything wrong, they will probably accuse you of cheating. And when someone feels guilty about something they have done, they want to transfer that type of guilt that they have onto another person, accusing them of the same thing. And so that's why no one will ever do or say anything that's not a direct reflection of how they feel about themselves. What's up, dating guru? Good to see you back. Jaded people are more paranoid. Yeah. Good to see you back, man. Good to see you back. And so, yeah, you gotta be careful with the people that are projecting onto you. And if your spouse or anybody, your girlfriend or whoever is accusing you of cheating constantly, even when you're not, it's like, well, look, it's a sign of emotional abuse, and that's something to really be careful of. You want to be careful of certain people, certain behaviors. And so it's really important as a guy to watch out for people and audit their behaviors. What were their behaviors like last week? Is it consistent to how it is this week? And because you always want to, that's a very interesting topic. How to spot a cheater, right? It's difficult. It's difficult, but there are tendencies, and like I said, it's not a guarantee. It's no such thing as a guarantee unless you catch them in the act or you have solid evidence. All right. Now, a pattern of lying, being inconsistent, are red flags. That's just a person's poor character, right? Does this automatically put them in a category of cheating? Probably not. But what you're really looking for as a person, as a guy, is this person going to make my life easy and effortless, easygoing, easy to get along with? Or do you want to be dealing with chaos your whole entire life? Now, most women are chaotic. I wish I could read that. Can you translate that for me, SPG? Yeah, like most women, they're a little chaotic. That's part of feminine energy. But what you're really looking for is you're looking for someone that's going to be a complement to your life. You're not looking for someone that's going to make your life more difficult, because the life is difficult enough as it is. You want to spend those time becoming the person that you want to be, not always trying to fix a problem that she created. And so if that's always coming to you, how much mental capacity, mental bandwidth do you think that's going to strip off of you? Imagine every single day you wake up, you're right next to her, something's wrong. It's like walking on eggshells. It's like your day is dependent on that person's feelings. It's like, look, you got to deal with this, otherwise I'm out. Because you're accusing me of all this. You're saying all this. I'm not doing anything like that. I hope Jack is still here. I think Jack is still here. But anyways, it's like you don't want someone that's going to constantly make your life difficult. Where did I hear this? You want a woman. I saw this somewhere a few years ago. You want a woman that makes your dick hard, not your life hard, right? And that I was like, yeah, that was something easy, but it's true. You want someone that makes your dick hard, not your life hard. It's like, is she easy going, easy to get along with? Like, those are very, very important things. So, relationships that comes from cheating, okay? So I want to spit some facts out, right? You reap what you sow. You reap what you sow, right? Basically, future consequences are inevitably shaped by the present action. So whatever you have done in the present, it usually have future consequences, whether it's good or bad, whatever you do. And so that's why a lot of people say karma's a bitch. Now, relationship that comes from cheating. Now, statistics, I don't know what statistics this is, but my coach said this, Coach Corey Wayne, and I found this out. So 63% of men and 54% of women are in relationship as a result of cheating. Meaning that they monkey branched, or they, their relationship wasn't going too well, so they started talking to other people, opening up to another person emotionally, and then, once they felt like things were not going too well, I'm gonna break up with this person, wait like 1-2 months, and then get right into a relationship. Anybody that gets into a relationship within a few months after you break up, chances are they've been monkey branching, and they're talking to somebody on the side, and they just wanted to give it a few months so that they don't feel as guilty getting into the relationship. They don't have to feel guilty about themselves. I feel much calmer on your stream when I said that she doesn't want to change. I'm talking about a situation where I don't like she was late and she didn't warn me. Women don't come with warning signs. I mean, there are signs that you can kind of pick up on, but usually once she feels a certain way. Now, so that's why having someone that communicates really, really well is really important. Because let's just say that, and not every woman's going to go out there and be like, hey, you know what? This is how I'm feeling. Like, that would be great if she did. It would be great if she did. But if she doesn't, it's still part of your job to kind of audit her behavior and see whether or not, is she a little bit cold? Is she a little bit distant? What's going on? Right now, you asked her before, like, oh, you noticed that she was a little bit cold and distant. And when she was a little bit cold and distant, what you could have done a little bit more was be a little bit more persistent and be calm. Chances are, when you asked her what was going on, you were not calm about it. You were probably in an anxious state. And think about being anxious and coming from a place of anxiety. When you're anxious and you're coming from this place of anxiety, chances are you either were too worried about something that happened in the past, or you're worried about something that may or may not happen in the future, which also means that you are not in a present moment. Because when you're in a present moment, when you're living right here and not in between these spaces, you focus on exactly where she's at. And that's exactly where woman is always going to be. Feelings are present. So an example is, if she told you she loved you, like, oh my God, I love you so much. SPG, I love you so much. If she told you she loved you 2 weeks ago or 2 days ago or even 2 minutes ago, if you did anything that made her feel upset, chances are you just take it for what it is at the moment. Oh my God, I love you so much. Great. You know what? I love you too, babe. And it's her feelings at the current moment. It doesn't mean, it only means what it means in the present moment. You can't take it into the future and be like, well, 2 weeks ago, she told me she loved me, so she has to still love me now. Or if she told me she loved me now, she has to love me more in the future. Like, it's a present thing. And so you're being anxious, having anxiety. And when you're anxious and you're unsure of yourself, that shows her, it permeates through your entire body. The way you say it, your tone, your demeanor, everything, how you say things. Think of it like this. A person in their emotions, because everybody has emotions, right? A person that's grounded that's unsure of how she feels. Like, what's going on? What's bothering you? I don't want to talk about it. Okay, well, if you don't want to talk about it, I think you should. If you talk about it with me, you're going to feel much better. Well, I don't want to talk about it right now. Okay, fine. Do you want a little bit of space? I'll give you a little bit of space. I'll come back in a little bit and you let me know how you feel. Okay, but maybe right now it's not the right time. I love you. I care about you and I want to know how you feel, but you let me know when you're ready. It seems like it was pretty recent. Let's see. Dated for a year and he moved and now he doesn't have a place to live, or he can't find a place. And so it becomes a little bit difficult. He's in a tight spot right now. He's in a tighter situation, right? I know kind of been off tangent of this relationship that comes from cheating. But as you guys are communicating a little bit more, I want to talk about this thing, all right? So relationship that comes from cheating. People who are disloyal and begin relationships with cheating usually face a lot of unnecessary things, unnecessary challenges moving forward in their relationship. It's just unnecessary. This is because the foundation of their relationship is built on compromised trust already, which kind of leads to a possibility or a potential repeated type of infidelity. Yeah, you know how it is. Now, I appreciate you though, man. So, and while some relationships that comes from cheating can succeed, like it could be a good relationship moving forward and, you know, you have a happy, healthy relationship, the probability is very low. It's very unlikely. It is very unlikely that a relationship that started from cheating, it's the overall success rate, it's much lower than those that begins their relationship without cheating or infidelity. She said she was tired. We took time to think. Then we got together with her friends and I didn't feel that cold anymore. Then we got together with her friends. So you just kind of brush it under the rug. You said you asked her calmly. I want to know exactly how you asked her because that's going to be a big difference. That's going to be a big difference. Oh yeah, and back to that. Asked her why she behaved differently with her friends. Her fatigue is gone, but I was more angry. And so, look, SPG, this is exactly why. Remember when I said chances are it's your behavior? So a man that is grounded, that's in a center, that's unfazed, that you're her rock in her ocean, that's not the type of guy that's gonna blow up. You're not, if you're a masculine guy, you don't lose your shit. You got angry. And so maybe you didn't explode. Maybe you didn't yell at her, or maybe you did. But let's just say you did not yell at her. And when you get angry, chances are, more than likely, because you were angry, you didn't know how to hold those emotions very well. She saw that and she was like, damn, that kind of reinforced her thinking like, hey, you know what? You're giving her more of a reason to want to leave you. The first language of, what is that? I don't know. Are you asking me dating? I forgot your name, yo. Damn, you gotta remind me. Did I start with the R? My bad, man. Okay, yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Rack. Let me start this quote by Coach Corey Wayne and now end it, and then we'll talk about what's going on with SPG and how we could help him moving forward. All right. So Coach Corey Wayne, shout out to you. So he had a quote which says, if you want to feel safe and secure in your relationship, then never date a cheater and only date people who are single and available and who place a high value on loyalty, commitment, and communication. Coach Corey Wayne. Very simple. Not easy for a lot of people to even have half of those. Okay? Half of those. You want someone that is going to communicate with you, not just stonewall you. I don't want to talk to you. That don't value. Like, imagine going into a relationship where someone does not value loyalty, but you do. And you value commitment and communication. But they don't. They don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. Anytime you want to talk about it, I don't want to talk about it. Of course, and then I just made my voice stricter because she said she was tired, but that was a lie. I'm not a muscular guy. You don't need to be a muscular guy to be masculine. So, you should never consider date. People who have low character should be vetted properly. Okay, you should never consider dating a homewrecker. Meaning, even if you were like shit, I could take her off of his arms. Like, that already tells me you're starting out bad, and that is not a you're not a good person because you're already messing up their relationship. You want to make sure that they're single, they're available, they're ready, willing, and able to be in a relationship. Just because someone's fed up and they're not in a good, happy relationship, and you're like, damn, I could save her. You playing Mr. White Knight. Like, no, you want someone that's ready, willing, and able, who's single, that worked on themselves, that been, single for about a good amount of time. And then they're ready to be in a relationship versus, you know what? She's unhappy. I could see that. I could save her. She should come with me because I have needs too. And I could do it better than he could. It's like, that's not your place. And even if you could, you wouldn't place it on somebody like that, because if you value yourself, if you truly value yourself, you're not going to be like, damn, I only need her. You're going to have plenty of fucking options. And so, never date a homewrecker. You should never wreck somebody's home. And they should only be considered as friends with benefits, okay? If you're ever considering someone if you're ever going to consider someone that's going to cheat on their boyfriend or, whatever, you should never date them exclusively. They should only be as good as friends with benefits. If you really want to be around her, you're like, man, she's fine. Sure, by all means, make sure you strap some on, right? Because, you want to practice something safe. But besides that, in terms of dating them exclusively, never consider them. And you should never snatch another man's girlfriend, all right? And that being said, how to spot a cheater. I do want to say, like I said, it's very, very difficult to spot a cheater, but cheaters do have certain tendencies, and these tendencies doesn't exactly make them a cheater. You can only evaluate how the behaviors are, what they're doing, and then from there, you could be like, well, is this person cheating or is this person not? Right? Because this whole level of cheating, not a lot of people have you should be talking about what is considered cheating before you get into a relationship. That's something that's big too, because you're like, well, talking to any females is cheating. Well, I have a lot of female friends. So if you have a lot of female friends and I can't talk to anyone, I don't think it's going to work out, because you're going to be upset every single time I talk to one of my female friends. And if you're going to constantly do that, it's not going to be easy and effortless. So either you got to fix your behavior, or we just don't get into one, and that's fine. And that is fine. But if you're going to constantly bring it up every single time I'm talking to somebody, that's not something that I want to deal with, because I know where I'm at. I'm with you. And if that's constantly being brought up, then there's going to be we're not going to really be moving forward. We're always going to be stagnant. And that's not called moving forward. Okay. Yeah, it's like spotting someone cheating. You got to either have solid facts or you got to catch them in the act. But tendencies, like people that are narcissistic, they tend to have those type of tendencies too, where they focus on themselves and what they need, and they only focus on what their needs are and if it's being met. And so those are very important, because someone with good character that would not cheat on you, guess what they would do? I'm unhappy. I'm letting you know, They're giving you chances. They give you more than a few chances, more than a couple of chances, and yet you're unwilling to change. And because you're unwilling to change, they will leave. And when they leave, they're going to reflect back. They're going to understand. They're going to work on themselves. They're going to improve themselves, whether it's mentally, physically, spiritually, whatever it may be. They're going to work on themselves. They're going to take the time. And then after that, they're going to be open in the market. Can I ask? Can I use something? You mean ask? Offer? Yeah, what's up? What's up, Rat? What's going on? This interview was very my plans have been ruined and I don't know what to do. Was very unexpected. Well, you have to remember too, SPG, this is a free space. You don't have to answer anything. Look, if you wanted the help, then you ask, and if you don't, that's all, by all means, it's okay. I would never pressure you onto anything that you don't want or you don't feel comfortable with. Yeah, absolutely. What do you want to ask me, dating guru Rack? I have a few more minutes before I head out, so yeah. Do you have any personal experience with cheating? People would cheat? I had an ex that cheated on me. We were very young. And what ended up happening was, I think years later, I'm talking about like 5+ years later, out of nowhere, she reappeared and she said, "Hey, I'm sorry about whatever happened before, blah, blah, blah." I was like, you know what? It's cool. I wasn't bitter about it. I wasn't gonna accept anyone that cheated on me back, but I was like, it's okay. You were young, and when we're young, we make mistakes, and it's important that you know this. And moving forward, I hope you and your boyfriend, future husband, whatever, is going to have someone that's going to be good, and that's all I want. That's all I cared about. I was like, I just want, if you learned it, if you made a mistake and you learn and you own up to those mistakes, then by all means, you know what? To me, that's enough. Oh, no, you good. Not bad memories. I think it's being able to let go. Like, I was young, so I was like, it's okay. And trust me, when I say I made mistakes in the past, everybody made mistakes in the past. I mean, there were embarrassing ones, things where I'm not proud of, like all of the above. I made mistakes. I've always tried to be the person to make the best choices. Sometimes I don't get to make the best choices when I was younger, but now as I'm gotten older, I understand things a little bit more. I'm more focused on doing the right things, and it's a lot easier when you have a blueprint, and that blueprint is knowing what your goals and values are, right? Where if loyalty and commitment are really, I appreciate your interest, I feel better on your live stream. I had been sticking to TikTok content all day before to numb the pain. Now I have strength to start studying. Great. Just be careful, SPG. This is one thing I would say is, if you're gonna go on TikTok, before you numb yourself, sometimes we need it, right? Sometimes we need it. It's like a little cheat day. But if you're consuming relationship content or any type of content out there, just be careful. Do your own research. Like even when you're like listening to mine, like do your research. What do you think? Because I'm just a coach. I'm not your coach. And so really think about what stands out and what resonates with you, because that's what's going to be most consistent. That's what's going to be most consistent in your life. And when I say be careful out there, I'm really saying like be careful with the red pill community and things like that, because they're not short term. You feel great about yourself short term. Long term, if you want, like, great things don't come in a year. I mean, you could do a lot in a year, but think about how, if you really grounded yourself and you gave yourself freaking 10 years, you're like, you know what? In the next 5 to 10 years, I'm gonna be the most grounded motherfucker out there. I'm gonna understand what women like and what they don't like. I'm gonna understand what she speaks. And you know, women speak in different languages, if you know what I mean. It's like sometimes they say things like, "Oh, you never do this," or "You never do that," and it's like it's being able to digest that and be like, "What does she really mean when I say I never take her out on dates when you just took her out on a date last week? What do you mean I never?" And so instead of being upset about it, you should kind of laugh at it and just be like, "Oh, she wants my attention again." And that's okay, because that's what she means. When women speak in hyperbole and she says, "Oh, you never do this, you always do that, that's all you do, all you do is play video games, you don't do anything else," it's like, oh, okay, she wants my attention. And then you can call out on it because you know it, right? And when you know it, you can be like, "Oh, you want my attention." If that's what you want, you should just communicate that. You should just tell me you love me and you want more of my time. That will convince me more and want to be with you than just doing whatever you just did. And you have fun with it, because love is playful and fun. What's DG? I don't know what DG is. Oh, dating guru. I don't know what y'all saying. There's no translation. But like I said, digital guru. I know, dating guru. But yeah, you know, just really be careful with the advice out there. I'm here to help. You know, if you need a little bit more, I only do this once a week. But if you're like, "Look, I need your help right now, right there and then," I usually respond within 24 hours. If you book a coaching session, we could have a one-on-one talk. If you book a coaching session, all right? So, but you know, that's why my time, whenever I'm here, I'm like, "Look, ask what you need," because you know, it's free over here. It's free over here. It's not when you need me throughout the other days of the week. And then moving forward, you know, once I start doing more content, more long form content, and just giving advice, you know, I'll start doing more exclusive stuff too as well. So I have another 6 minutes. If you have any questions you want to ask, I'll wait here. I'll chill here for a little bit. All right. What language is that, by the way? Oh, that's my favorite topic. Even I never dated before. You never dated anyone before? And that's your favorite topic? Okay, it's Russian. Okay, man, I appreciate this. I know it's. Oh, Healthy Gamer is very good. So that's another person that I will highly suggest. Me going on a date today. My girlfriend's not feeling low. She's not feeling too well. So probably let her rest a little bit. And I already had some plans that I was gonna help. I'm gonna help my friend with his backyard, and we're gonna chill for a little bit. And I told her, I was like, you know, if you want to come, you're welcome to come. If you don't feel well, that's fine. You can stay home. And you know, it's look, love. This is what I would say. All right, SPG. Oh, Super Smashers. I hope she get better soon. Wait, Super Smasher. Do you play Smash? What kind of Smash? I have to ask which Smash because I'm assuming you play on this. Well, focus. Well, my content is more focused on Indian audience. Super Smash Bros. Yes, nice. Do you play the newer one or the older one? Don't get me too excited. Don't get me too excited. Um, focus on Indian audience. That's good. I mean, what? The only difference that I would say is like maybe the culture would be a little different. Well, I used to at my friend's place when we were small. I don't get a console, unfortunately. Oh, and so you just stuck with this name? So a bit of a language. So there's a bit of a language problem. No, the old one on the Wii. Oh, okay. Smash 4. But I'm here to help however I can. No, I appreciate it. You know, a lot of this me doing this live, it's you know, it's for people that has a time and space that they could come in here and you know express exactly what they're feeling. Just know that everything is recorded too, so whatever you say here, people can go back into and just kind of read it. So heads up, all right. But I'm pretty sure you know that already. But anyways, yeah, just doing this, it's because I feel like there's not a lot of valuable advice out there where men or even like maybe you're in your early 20s, like this SPG guy, right? Maybe in your early 20s. It's like I wished I had this advice when I was younger. Like when I grew up in my early 20s, you know who I had? I had a pickup artist. I had people that go out there in field talking to girls, and you know, and it's great. It's one tiny step. It's getting to know her, and that's cool. You know, you get to meet other people, but most importantly, it's like a lot of guys only focus on the pickup. They don't really focus on the relationship part. Can you name a Pokemon on your t-shirt? Absolutely. Entei, Suicune, and Raikou. Yeah, it's like the idea of it sounds great. Not the alpha male. Yeah, it was. That's how, you know, and you believe it or not, they had really good things. One thing that was not real was that it was inauthentic, right? It's as funny as that sounds, right? It was inauthentic. And so because that's what I was around, that's all I knew. And I wasn't given this idea of, damn, this is how you're a grounded individual. Or at least I'm pretty sure it was out there. It was hard to find. The work is dedicated to developing a habit tracking app. Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah, Healthy Gamer is very, very good. That's someone that I would highly suggest focusing on. If you want something a little bit more simple, you know, my coach, Coach Corey Wayne, he's the reason why I'm doing everything that I am doing today. He's the reason why I know most of everything that I know in terms of relationship today. Now, I've learned a few things from like Tony Robbins and and his teacher Jim Rohn, and they're all very, very great people. But when it comes to relationships, I would highly suggest looking at Coach Corey Wayne and read his book, How to Be a 3% Man. Highly, highly suggest going out there, purchasing that book, read it multiple times. I'm talking about 10 to 15 times. I love when people teach stuff to others because they didn't have that advice support when they were younger. Yeah, I I mean, come on. All I knew was pickup artists. That's all I knew. And like I said, it's great because it got me thinking about certain things like that. The live is mirror filled. I don't know. I'm writing a college graduation thesis. Look, SPG. A man, I'm gonna keep it simple, okay? I understand things happen and things suck. But what doesn't break you will only make you stronger, especially if you have the backing of people that is willing to support you. I never had support. I never had support when shit really hit the fan. I'll take that back. I had support. It wasn't credible support. I didn't have people that knew exactly what to do. So I talked to my friends, talked to my family, and who am I to know? They knew a little bit more than me, but they weren't credible. They had poor relationship themselves. So guess what happens when you ask somebody? You ask somebody that doesn't know much about relationships and their relationship isn't as well. And then you get their advice. You get the same results as what they get, right? And it wasn't until I was like, fuck. I was hurt. And I was like, I was desperate. And I'm so glad that I found Coach. Like, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. I wouldn't be as grounded as an individual, right? Like, as a man, what you should be focusing on is your mission and your purpose. The two most important things is your mission. What's your mission in life? What is the reason why you're here on this earth? It sounds like you're trying to create an app of developing a habit tracking app. And great, go for it. At the same time, you have to understand how relationship works. Relationship, it goes through phases. There's the pickup, right? There's the dating, there's the courting, and there's that relationship where you have to maintain that relationship. And so it's like navigating, understanding what's going, and it's so easy to be in a relationship for about a year and then all of a sudden it slips and then you're like, fuck, it's already too late. She already moved on. What I do now, right? And it's like, I'm here to give you I'm here to give you a mindset, not dating tips. The mindset will attract you much better prospects. Forte yet. So I don't have much to say. It's okay. We all learn. And even if you haven't been cheated on or anything like that, that's fine. I think as a coach, dating guru, as a coach, and you know it too, it's like just being able to learn and understand. Like, now it's good if you've been through that experience so that you could give your 2 cents on that, but you don't have to be that person that felt every single burn in order to be like, wow. You don't have to. And so I think that's the beauty of being a coach, is like, are you coachable yourself? Are you able to pick up things and learn and be like, damn, like those are certain things that I could see happen and other people might understand it. I'm so glad men are supporting each other this way, for real. Yeah. Because, think about it like this. As guys, do you know how difficult it is? Like, you have to constantly be fucking amazing, right? You got to work on your body. You got to work on your mind. You got to make sure that your finances is there, right? You got to be able to because you're supposed to be this guy you're supposed to protect. Then you got to work on your game, because look, not everybody is blessed with a genetic pool where they're tall or they're good looking or whatever, but you could do everything that you can in your favor, right? By eating better, by exercising and things like that, learning how to exercise. It's like, but here's the beauty of all that. When all this goes through, when you solidify, you're like, damn, I focus on my health, I focus on my fitness, I focus on my mind, and you're grounded. There's not a lot of men out there like that. And if you're here, one of the 4 people, right? 4 or 5 people that's in here. Most people out there right now in a nice summer day would rather be out drinking, going out, watching Netflix, kind of just lounging on their chair, not doing anything. But you're here, you're focusing on improving yourself. Like, just think about, and if you do that, just give yourself an hour each day just to focus on the things that you want to become. Like, just, even if you read a book, you read 3 books of the same topic. So say you read 3 books on relationships. You're much further ahead than most people in this world. Why? Because most people can't even read 1 book a fucking year. 1, okay? We women have a lot like pressure on being perfect and stuff too, but I think men are often overlooked in how much people expect from them. Yeah, it is. And it gets very tiring, right? But it's back to my coach, he was like, you have to have an emotionally compelling reason as to why you wake up every morning and you're like, I'm gonna go to the gym because that's my ritual. I want to eat healthy, but from time to time I want to see my friends and I want to have a good time, and that's okay, right? And how I see it is, and I've done that for many years now, and even so I had to dial it back. Even the 80-20 rule was not enough. I needed like 90-10, if not like 95-5, where I really have to stay consistent on my own self. I have to be consistent. I need to be persistent. Why? Because I place a higher value on the things that I do for myself. Because you have to understand this too. I'm changing people's life. I'm giving them life advice. If I fuck up, it all goes on me. It all goes on me. Like, oh, Mitchell told me to do this. And it's like, well, that's why people out there that listens to like the whole red pill community and they blame modern women, all women are like this. It's like, nah, you just don't know how to pick and vet your women. There are good people out there. There's not a lot. There's plenty more of shitty people. And so it's your job to find the right person for you. And it's like, it's like, oh, all women are like, it's like, no, they're not. It's just, you have poor choices. And that's why you're constantly in this cycle of bullshit. And that's their fault. But you put enough people in the same room that feels the same way because they've been burned one too many times. Guess what's going to happen? You're going to get a whole bunch of people agreeing with each other. Oh my God, all women are like this. Yeah, they all suck. It's like, nah, you probably suck. And, most people major in minor things. They're more focused on what other people's problems are rather than themselves. Why? Because it's a fear. You don't want to reflect on the things that you've done wrong. So exactly, I don't think you can say, yeah, a group of people is like that. It's individual. It's just like people that you don't, there's a lot more not as successful people, depending on what success means to you. But, there's a lot less successful people. There's a lot less successful people than there are people with a very poor mindset. And if you're always surrounding yourself with people with poor mindsets, guess where you will be? All right. And so, my goal is to be like, look, you're going to be that guy that stands out. You're going to be that person that like, damn, who is this person in this room? And why do you know so much? And how are you just fucking amazing? And it's like, it's because I love myself. I love learning. And I love being able to help another person that wants to learn, right? And so, as a coach too, I'm still learning every single day. And, a thing recently is, as a coach, you want people that are coachable, not people that are stuck in their own idea. You're not trying to force them out of it, but they have to be willing to learn themselves. Because just because you learn from me, that's good, but you have to be willing to expand a little bit and figure out some things on your own and see if that works. Yeah, what's up? What's up, Rack? Yeah. And by the way, Super Smasher, yeah, I don't. There goes my mom just talking. Anyways, let's see. Yeah, go ahead. What's this one favor? I'm Tang, by the way, from Smash. So, if you play Super Smash Brothers Melee, I used to play pretty competitively with my teammate Silent Spectre. Please keep the answer short and precise. Okay. I'm gonna give you the longest freaking answer. All right. If you guys haven't hit that subscribe, like button already, please do so. Rosalina, my friend, Bayonetta, Amy every time. Oh yeah, that's after the video games I played. I only played Melee. Only played Melee. You know Wombo Combo, right? You know Mr. Wombo Combo? If you played Smash, you should know that. If you played other games, maybe. Yeah. I'm the half of that Wombo from before. You know. Some bragging rights. I'll put that shit on my resume. So this is for everyone. All right, what is it? Oh my god. Wombo Combo. What's for you? What is the best thing for you in a relationship? It's very general. What is the best thing? The best thing for me? Or the best thing that I could offer, or like what's happening in a relationship? The best thing? Because I want to know exactly what you're asking before I answer it. For you, oh, the best thing that I could ask for. Oh yeah, peace. Men just want to be left alone, man. If that's what you're asking, like, I like to be able, the best thing for me, it's not peace itself. It's the fact that I'm able to do everything that I love with the support that I never asked for, but it's given. And that's because they understand where I'm at and the things I need to do. And because once my plate is more filled, guess whose plate is going to be more filled? I'm still 17 and of course young. No. Nothing going on in my head, but I say communicate to understand each other. Oh, you're still young. Oh, wow. I can't believe you're 17 and you know it though. Shameless plug. Don't say you're dumb. You're young and you don't know a lot yet, and that's okay, and that's why you're learning. But you have time on your hands, all right? It's how you spend your time. So but yeah, like I felt so when I'm 20 years older than you, right? So you good. You got some time. And even at 37 almost, goddamn, I don't I don't feel that old. I don't. And I feel like it's because, I mean, sometimes I wake up and my back or my leg just hurt for no reason. But you're really smart for your age if you understand what you said. But I love getting older though. I'm so excited to reach my 40s, not gonna lie. Yo, it's a blessing. It's a blessing. Keep working on yourself, right? I am 6 years older, right? You only feel old. So my body reminds me from time to time. You know what I'm talking about, Rack. But from time to time, I'm just like, damn, like I still move better than most 20-year-olds, and I'm proud of that. All right, I'm proud of that. All right, well, if you guys don't have any more questions, I appreciate you guys always showing up, especially you, Rack. Appreciate you. I know it's a different time zone and you're still showing up too, so that's dope. But I do this live, like I said, every Saturday, and I do my best to be here every Saturday. I don't promise every Saturday, but I do my best to come here most of it. Let's see, I don't know if I say I'm smart, but I just develop my own mindset. You know, my generation is following everyone else's opinion, and it's hard. It was fun. I'll try to get by next time for sure. Absolutely. Give me a name, so you know I don't want to keep calling you Super Smasher. Give me a name. I already know Rax. SPG kind of dipped out, I think. Elisa. Well, you're very educated for someone your age. My niece is your age. Okay, so continue doing the things that you do. Never stop learning and educating yourself. And you know, when times get hard, just things will eventually always get better. I'm Georgia, actually. What's up, SPG? Didn't know you were still here. Well, there are idiots in every generation. Absolutely, some more than others, right? Thanks a lot. I appreciate you. You continue helping people. Nah. Thank you for showing up. You're one of the few that wants to improve yourself. If you haven't hit the like button though, could y'all do that for me? Just hit that like button one time, cause your boy's struggling out here to get a few views every now and then. But I love doing it, and whether I get look, I've done lives at 0 people, and I continued. All right, I continued, and it's been going on. Obviously, because I do this, it's one of my favorite pastimes. My girl just walked by. Keep doing that, you know. Oh yeah, thank you. Well, I hope you guys do have a lovely weekend. You know, have fun. And be safe out there, because the world is kind of wild, right? So be safe out there, have fun, enjoy the time. And we come back next week. All right, we come back next week. We talk about something different. If you guys want to talk about anything specific, just leave it in a comment or something like that, and then I'll look into it. And if it's something that I want to talk about, we'll talk about it. All right, cool. All right, Lisa, Rack, and George, take it easy, and I catch you guys in the next live. All right, peace.